Hey guys, blah, blah, blah. Hey guys, welcome to day 16 of Venom, or Vedum, or however I've said it in the past. The other day I talked about my degree, and today I'm going to talk about what I got a minor in, which I briefly mentioned in that video, but I got a minor in creative writing. So the way my program worked at school is we had to get a minor unless we were double majoring in something, which was really helpful for me because I was able to minor in something else I had a lot of interest in, but I didn't know what to minor in for a little bit, and I ended up taking an intro to creative writing class at school, and I remembered how much I liked writing from like high school or whatever, or whenever I'd write like Fred and George Weasley fan fiction stories or whatever. So I took that class and remembered that I really liked to write, and so I decided to minor in creative writing. So I have an English minor in creative writing focus. So with that, I had to take Intro to Creative Writing and then 2 fiction courses and 2 poetry courses because it was just a minor, so I didn't have to do a lot of courses, but I genuinely would have loved to take more because they were fun classes. They were kind of stressful because, you know, if you don't, and this is an issue in my major too for me, if I don't have like inspiration or I don't have an idea for a story or something, I'm just not gonna want to do it, or like I'm gonna be like, oh, this is bad, I don't know how to make this better, and then that makes it harder. And I think that's something that people who aren't doing those things like writing or filmmaking or like any sort of artwork, it's hard to like understand how that can be really stressful sometimes when you're not inspired, because when you have to turn in assignments, you like have to kind of force yourself into like an idea or inspiration or something. So for me, I think my fiction writing 2 class was more challenging because I was kind of just like felt burnt out. It was the second semester of my junior year, so I was almost done with school. I only had 1 more semester after that of classes, but it was really interesting what we were doing in those courses, or that fiction writing course, the final fiction writing course that I took. Out of fiction writing and poetry was definitely harder. I'm not very good at poetry. I'm okay at analyzing poems and other like works, but writing it is so challenging. But what I did enjoy about my poetry courses was that I got better in my general fiction or nonfiction writing because of poetry. Because in poetry you're using so many devices, you're using so many modes of description, and you're tapping into certain emotions, and so for me it really helps out my fiction and nonfiction storytelling, which of course creative writing has helped me exponentially in just being able to capture a story through my photography and filmmaking, which is my primary focus in life, I guess. So yeah, how I want to use my creative writing minor. So obviously I'm not a professional writer at all. I probably never will be, but I'm gonna use what I learned in creative writing, and I'm gonna go beyond what I learned in college, because obviously with filmmaking comes screenwriting, and even if I'm not a screenwriter, like full-time screenwriter or something, as a director or as a cinematographer or as an editor, you obviously still have to know how to tell a story. So understanding the framework of like what a story needs to be entertaining and to keep people continuing to read or continuing to want to know what's going on in the story, you have to have writing skills like you do. Generally, any creator who is storytelling needs to know how to tell the story. Even if they're not going to write a book, or they're not going to write a short story, or they're not going to even write a screenplay or a play, you still need to know how to tell that story. And even if you don't write very well, but you still know the structure the story needs to be, I think that was the most important thing for me that I took out of creative writing. I might not be the best writer, but I do understand story structure better than if I hadn't chosen to do creative writing for my minor, because I've learned a lot about story structure in my screenwriting and filmmaking courses, but I got to dive into a totally different part of storytelling. Because obviously writing short stories and novels is different than writing a screenplay. You just write them differently. But again, that story structure, plot structure, character development, etc. stays the same across all forms of storytelling. So, but another way I would like to use my creative writing minor is on my Instagram. I want to really not only tell stories with the photos or the videos I'm posting, but I want to tell stories in those captions and actually utilize my Instagram as like cultivating like a creative community, and I want to write narratives of my life or like other people's lives, etc., etc. And I just want to continue building up how I'm telling stories and how I'm learning every day how to tell a story better. So, and I'm definitely still writing. I am going back through short stories I wrote in school and poems I wrote in school, like for my creative writing minor, and editing those because nothing's ever finished, or building off of them, or taking characters and putting them in a longer story I'm working on right now. I don't know if I would ever want to write a book because again, my primary focus is filmmaking and photography, and I'm not the best writer ever like for a book probably, but I think it's still fun and very therapeutic to write books, or I've never written a book, write like stories, short stories or something. So I'm gonna keep doing that, I think, as a hobby, but also something that maybe I could turn into a screenplay later for a short film or something like that. And so it's just really cool how it all just intertwines. Today next to me I have one of my books from school. These other two are just books I have, but this is a anthology. It's American poets, and obviously getting better at your craft, you need to study other people's crafts. So studying poetry, studying fiction, studying nonfiction, etc. is gonna make you better. And then I got this book forever ago. I cannot remember where. I feel like we got it at a museum or something, but it's the Book of Words, which I think, like, I need to use this more often, to be honest, because not only does it have like words obviously in it, it's the Book of Words, it talks about the root of words. It talks about what words are used best in certain places when you're writing or reading or whatever. And it also just talks about like language in general. And so I think that this is probably a good book to like go through. Because I've skimmed through it, but I haven't done like, I don't know, really looking at them. But it's called The Book of Words, an entertaining look at words and how we have come to use them. Cool. And I like this cover. It's neat. And then another book I have right here is called The Art of the Story. I got this at a used bookstore, so it was only $10. The original price was $40. Cool. It's just another anthology. It is great, just like the more books you can read. I think if your aim is short stories, the more short stories you can read too is super helpful, because in school that was like, you know, our homework assignments and stuff was reading as well as writing. So that's just, I just brought these books next to me today to kind of talk about that. And I'm not gonna lie though, when I graduated high school and got to college, I did do a lot less reading, like fiction and stuff, because I was either reading for school or doing homework for school, or just didn't want to read like I used to. And starting my creative writing minor helped me out so much because I started reading so much more, mainly short stories, but I actually started reading again, which was so nice and so fun because I love to read. I really do. And the more you read, not just for a writer, obviously for a filmmaker, photographer, it's just broadening my horizons, broadening my vocabulary, broadening the way I can tell stories, the way I can write a screenplay or a book or a short story or a caption. And so that is just a little bit about my minor and why I chose to do it and what I want to do with it. And yeah, so thanks again. I think it's VDOM Day 16. I think I can thank VDOM Day 16 without checking my watch. It is VDOM Day 16. Wow, we're 16 videos in. Woohoo! Anyway, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again for VDOM Day 17.